welcome to another edition of the Cheap Champ Podcast. I don't know what episode it is, but it's gonna be a good one. I got a good friend of mine, great guest, gonna drop some knowledge on you. We're gonna have some fun, crack some jokes, and we're gonna talk about that money. Introduce yourself, sir.
Joe Fox in the building. What's going on, man?
Joe Fox in the building. This is a good friend of mine, comedian, business owner, a lot of different things. But before we get started, I got to do some housekeeping. If you need questions or if you have questions about credit or anything like that, go to stressmoneyless.com. Stress Money Less, where they help good people with bad credit through budgeting and saving. They have a lot of good courses over there for you, and they also have anything you need. So you got questions about financial literacy, go to stressmoneyless.com. Okay, so Joe, I got Joe on here today because he's a comedian, good friend of mine. We go to acting class together, and you're also a graphic designer.
Yes.
And as you know, on this podcast, we talk about life, money, and the context between the two, right. The relationship. Right. Because a lot of people know how much money is being made, but how much is being spent, and what's that relationship to you? Because I can be making a lot of money, spending more money, and it's driving me damn crazy. So I wanted to bring you on today to talk about what's it like, being a comedian and a graphic designer, because those are two creative professions. You got to be very creative to write jokes and very, very creative to write to be a graphic designer. Because I've had a couple graphic designers, and let me tell you, it's hell on earth. You ever gone to Fiverr? Man, that's the flea market for graphic designers. If you want flea market work, go to Fiverr, because it's the flea market of graphic. You got to hit them up you got to harass them, report you. I shouldn't have to do all that. But see, Joe is not like that. Joe's big time. I'm not knocking Fiverr, but it's the flea market of graphic designers. So Joe, tell us a little bit give us a little background about comedy and being a graphic designer. How does that work?
Okay, so in context of the show, yes, I am a comedian and graphic designer. The history behind it was when I first started doing comedy, of course, you got to be able to promote, right? You got to be able to promote and market yourself. And I, along with another partner, comedy partner, we started doing rooms. So of course we have to, make flyers. That was back in the day when you had to, make the flyer double-sided and go around putting them on cars. And we had to hire, not just hire a graphic designer to get our flyers made, but we also had to pay, a media outlet. It was like DallasBlack.com or some other media outlet to post it. Right. So not only do you have to get it, we had to get it designed, we also had to pay money to actually place an ad. Right. So that was really expensive out the gate. So what we did was trying to find a way to do it ourselves. Mm-hmm. So at that time I had a corporate job, and I was using the free graphic tools, or maybe go to CompUSA. Y'all remember CompUSA?
I remember CompUSA.
CompUSA is what went out of business when Best Buy came in.
Yeah, CompUSA is old.
CompUSA is no longer in the USA.
They had red, white, and blue letters.
Yeah, all patriotic in your computer store.
Right.
Man, it was the worst electronic computer store in the nation. And I think that's why it was easy for them to be to go under. I'm sorry. I don't know if you got work there, you had stock in it. I'm sorry, but it failed. Circuit City, CompUSA. There was another computer store that went under. I can't remember it right now.
I remember it wasn't a computer store, but I remember Montgomery Ward.
I used to work there.
Yeah, Montgomery Ward. Yeah, I remember that's old school.
Yeah, if you got your computer at Montgomery Ward,
it was dial-up. That was dial-up. If you got Montgomery Ward, that was dial-up for sure.
Did you ever have a modem?
Yeah, I had a modem.
I'm talking about a dial-up modem.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I know you're a little bit younger than me.
Yeah, hey, listen, dial-up modem, you had to have a land phone to have a dial-up modem.
Yes, yeah.
You couldn't be on the phone and the internet. You need to pick one. Yeah, either you want to browse or talk, but you're not doing both.
Yeah. I remember the modems. It was probably, you know how big they were. I mean, It's like this. They were trying to get smaller. They're like, no, we got to do something about this. Then we went to the DSL and all that stuff. Anyway, that was also, CompUSA was also a place where you can get software.
Right.
So at most, it was like maybe $50 and you get like a CD of graphic design software. Okay. I'm unaware of the Photoshop and Adobe products. I had no idea of that stuff, let alone know how to use it. So that's what I practiced on to do our own. And I was the flyer guy for our shows. So that saved us some money.
Mm-hmm.
And to give you some perspective, it was, I think, somebody at the church who was an actual graphic designer did it for us. And I think we paid like $250 for this thing. And, I was like, we're going to do it. But I was like, I could have done this if I knew how to do it. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, what, $250 for this? It was something real simple. And that's when I was like, man, I'm doing this. I think I can make a little money. So I started doing people's business cards, and I started doing, all of our flyers, of course. And I started doing, little promotional ads, like, those little ads that run on the internet things, and then you can get like a GIF, like an animated GIF, and it had little slides, happy hour from 6 to 10 at, whatever restaurant. Yeah. And I would charge people to do that, and then they would put it on, try to be affordable.
Right. Yeah.
So that's how all that started for me to even begin to learn about graphic design. Still working the corporate job, still doing little road gigs and local gigs and all that stuff. So by the time I moved out here in LA, I had a little more skill. I had a pirated version of Adobe Photoshop, because man, Photoshop is expensive, man.
Photoshop is super expensive, and now you got to pay. Either you rent it forever. You don't buy it anymore.
Subscription-based software.
Everything's subscription-based software.
Yeah.
So quick question for you. So you say you used to work a full-time job.
Yes.
So were you, before you started graphic design, were you working this full-time? Because you went to college as well. So you graduated college.
I didn't say that.
Oh, so when did you?
No. I graduated.
Oh, see, I thought I saw a degree unless you printed one out online.
Hey, I am a graphic designer. I can print out a diploma.
Right. But with that being said, having a job and going to college, that's another skill that you kind of taught yourself. Mm-hmm. Because did you go to school for graphic design?
No. I didn't say that. I learned how to do graphic design while I was working my cubicle space job.
Oh, so this is after college.
This is after college. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Went to school for business degree. I got a degree in I guess let me read it because I don't forgot. Yeah, Bachelor of Business Administration.
He making all this money. He don't even know no more.
We have my place, so I turned over there. That's where my degree is. It's right over there. It's right over there. Bachelor of Business Administration, Computer Information Systems, which means I know how to code. So sometimes you be in a room, people getting all technical. I don't say nothing. That's not my life anymore. But I know exactly what they're talking about.
Exactly.
I can tell when somebody trying to be all technical and they're like, I can program anything. Remember all that stuff? Can we curse?
Right. Yeah. Free. Say what you want to say. Maybe.
Remember in the Matrix, the dude it had the green lines and stuff like that? That's machine code. I can read that. Not that was fictional, but they have actual ones and zeros. I can spell my name in ones and zeros.
That look like a bunch of BS to me.
No. JOE 1101110. That's a J. 0110111118. A byte 8.
I've never seen anybody do speak sign language with numbers at the same time.
But I'm just saying you got to count a byte is 8. 1010. There's a combination of 8 of those that makes a character. See, y'all don't think that I know anything, I do.
You do. You definitely.
You
definitely.
Okay,
do.
all that stuff is bullshit.
No.
But anyway, but that's the beauty of being able to go to school and for one thing and kind of parlay that business or whatever I was trained on into the graphic design. Graphic design is a whole technical world. There is some coding. I'm not so heavily involved in like the website development and all that stuff.
Right.
But the actual graphic design, layouts, and marketing, logo design, branding, all that stuff. That's what I learned, and that's what I parlayed into employing myself. Okay.
Now, which is funny because now, see, the reason why I wanted to bring you on is because a lot of people like myself, I do a lot of my own graphic design because, you know, these programs are easy and I don't have the budget to go pay somebody that's like, you like the professional.
Right.
I go to Fiverr flea market for my graphic design.
Okay.
And so it's like, okay, well, if somebody's doing this all themselves, if you're doing this yourself as well, it's like, okay, when do I go from doing it for myself and a couple friends to saying, hey, I'm sending out invoices? And when you do that, how much is it? Because I know just paying somebody it can get up there. You know, a flyer, you can get a flyer $75.
Right.
And that flyer is marketing. It's a a throwaway expense. You just, you're not really getting anything from that. You can't really trace that. So for me, it's like, man, it's a lot of money. I'm gonna do this on my own. And I'm pretty sure you started that way. But at some point you got better than everybody else, or everybody else started coming to you. When did that start?
Okay. There was a first of all, it's always, training, is always learning new tools and trying to be more efficient in providing the service. If that makes sense. It's like you're always trying to get better and better and better, like a cook. You're always trying to improve upon the skill set. Okay. So once I started doing projects for myself and then offering it to other people who I thought maybe I could establish a business relationship with and do something ongoing just to test the market and test, can I do this?
Right.
Then it was, people would come back, hey, I need you to change the information on my business card, or hey, I do want to add a logo for my business card. And that there was a point in time where I was getting them printed for the people and then going and then giving them their business cards or their flyers for them. And that started to be a lot because that's my gas, that's my time.
And that's not the graphic designer. That's more so.
That's the delivery man.
That's the delivery man. Yeah, there's somebody who owns a business. There's no graphic design that just, hey, I take it from door to door. UPS, FedEx, door to door. That's all they do.
Yeah, and I thought that might have been, my naivete, but my ignorance in that part of the business.
Right.
Like, I'm a designer. I design. You go get it printed. That's your expense. So that's when I made a separation and, just a commitment to myself. I said, I can do this to fund my exit plan out of the cubicle.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, knowing what I know now, I would have done I would have made a whole set of different choices, and I would have went full force on providing a service and training myself and being more aggressive. But there was no YouTube tutorials back then. There was books. I would have bought more books. I would have actually bought the software. I would have actually put myself out there a little bit more, because I was kind of tiptoeing about it. And I was only because I didn't have the skill set. I would have went to some training. I would have went to, read more things. It's just one of those things where, man, this is possible. And I wish I would have put a better foot forward in this. Okay.
So you're saying, because like you just said some great point, training costs money.
Yes.
You got to train in everything. Like, as far as, I went to school for accounting, but I had to really learn credit. I understood credit from my personal standpoint, but I had to learn other people's situations. So I had to go get trained on the legalities of it, because there's laws and stuff dealing with credit. You have to deal with the bureaus, and then you got all these acts and whatnot. So the training is an expense.
Yes.
Would you say some people don't want to invest because of the training? Because, we're actors too. We go to acting class and we have to pay for the training. Comedy, there is no training. You train yourself, but that $5 a week, Mike's, adds up. There's nothing free. So what would you say would your business have not been what it is if you didn't pay for the training and really became a true business, or just a guy just doing it on the side? Because I feel like training separates the professional business owner from the guy just running a side hustle or business.
yes and no. I think I still would have been doing it as a business anyway. I think I would have maybe spent my money on the training and the investment. I would have done that smarter. I would have had more of a direction. I didn't have like a mentor or anything like that, but just like example, graphic design training as a student, like out here they have the Art Institute, and people learn this stuff. And as a student, guess what you get? A discount on the real software that you need to learn these tools.
Right.
Okay. You can get a discount on the subscription if you were a student. You just give your student credentials, whatever that is. And you know what? As a matter of fact, when I first got like the full suite of design products, I had a buddy of mine who was a student, and he said, man, I used my student ID. I gave him the money. He gave me in that, the CD set, and I'm golden. And I was rocking with that for a long time. But that was after I already started. I said, man, I should have had this, learn on the real stuff. So I had to make the transition from this free stuff or this little Rudy Poot $50 software. And I wasted a lot of time and my efficiency, the quality of what I did. I wouldn't say it suffered, but I had to stutter step onto the industry stuff, which is still self-taught and all that. But at least I would have had the real tools, the industry tools for this. So in that respect, that would have been a better choice to invest wisely like that, and not stutter step and this looks horrible, and everybody's gotten a horrible flyer. Everybody's gotten a horrible
and
flyer. And
everybody's made a flyer, because I know I made flyers and I misspelled names and it's just very frustrating. Yep. And that side is just patience.
Yep.
That's just being patient. But as far as the training, and like I said, the software,
Yep.
Software gets expensive.
Yes,
because like Adobe, Final Cut, you got to have all the stuff if you really want to be a graphic designer.
Yeah, let's get real for a second. When you have that skill, like let's take it off graphic design right quick. There's writers and filmmakers out here. Right. So all the writers out here and all the filmmakers out here, they have Final Draft and Final Cut Pro. Okay, a lot of times you just got to do what you got to do and get you a pirated version off of that. But that's only going to get you so far, because the new stuff, the upgrades, you can't get it because you got a pirated version. You got to always improve the product, go with the trends. Okay, that improves your efficiency. And if you just have a pirated copy somewhere, you can't get the upgrade. You can't just go through this pirating stuff.
Right.
Okay, you have to have a licensed software that gets all the upgrades. You got a new, or else you stuck in the in the Stone Age. Your laptop is old, slow, but it's got the software on it. But you crawling while everybody's got the new stuff, new laptops, new equipment, and you can't upgrade with everybody else. Now your production value is still down here.
Yep. And
you can get it done, but
it's not the quality.
Yeah, and the quality.
Because even on YouTube, you got to have top quality to compete.
Yeah, and what the good thing about YouTube is, YouTube University is free. Well, it costs whatever you pay for your Wi-Fi.
It costs you some time.
It costs you time. And everybody's got the same 24 hours a day. And I use my time to train myself. As soon as there's little tutorials and stuff, they're all sophisticated now. But to be self-taught, you have to seek this stuff out. You have to seek this stuff out. That's straight out the Bible. Seek and you will find. I found training for myself, and it was an ongoing process. And I have a skill set that I place in the marketplace, and I have a demand, and I can supply that demand.
Right. Now, let me ask you, your stand-up.
Right.
Comedy, we make a lot of flyers every week.
Yep.
Do you feel, because I know me personally, all my businesses, everything I do ties in. Mm-hmm. I do stand-up comedy. I crack, we get on podcasts, we're funny. I'm funny when I'm teaching my webinars, because you're taking some of my webinars. So I add humor in everything.
Right.
Has being a comedian helped your business, because you know so many people who need flyers, and you know different people at events. Not only when you get off stage, oh, I made the flyer. Oh, well, I have a business too. Mm-hmm. So not only am I winning on the back end as a comedian, you're also winning as a business owner because everybody gets to see what you're doing.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay.
Sorry. Oh, okay.
Oh, no. It's all good. But like I said, do you feel like that profession has helped far as the marketing with your graphic design business? Because like I said, all life and money, the relationship. One relationship can benefit another, but you got to find a way to make it work.
Right. The yes and yes, but yes and yes, but it becomes it becomes a choice as an artist and a businessman. How do you want to present yourself? Because as an artist, I want to be in front of the camera and make that income from that.
Mm-hmm.
But my business, I want to be able to be successful in that too. So to find balance in between, I'll just use this as an example. Hey, Russell Simmons, nice to meet you. Hope you had a great time at this event. I was the one, I'm a comedian saying this to Russell Simmons. I am a comedian, but hey, I did the marketing for this project. So to someone who you might be in business with, how they receive you as a businessman, a comedian, what can they do for you and what can you do for them? There's always a balance and you have to present yourself. Here's what I can do. Hey, I'm the total package. It looks weird when you want to be a comedian and you go up to somebody like Russell Simmons and you don't tell him this.
Right.
So now what? You have to take the money over here or take your chances and say, I'm a comedian, of which there's thousands of comedians. Now you have to be seen in that light and not get picked up. Because the reality is, HBO All Def Comedy Live, that was a show that came on HBO.
Right.
I tried out for that show, just like all the other comedians. Now, you didn't see me on that, but I tried out for it just like everybody else. But one of those logos, I made it. So you have to make a conscious choice to present yourself in the way that you want to be received. And that's going to be good either way it goes, because the relationships that you have, you'll be able to use that for whatever you want, because now you have a rapport of doing good work. And that's the only thing that anybody has to be worried about. Can you deliver?
Now, as an entertainer,
yeah,
like, do you choose one relationship over the other? Like, oh, I want to get on this stage. I want to perform with this guy, but I also know he's doing shows. He's paying a lot of money to a graphic designer. Do you say, hey, I'm a graphic designer and kind of keep, I'm a comedian to yourself so you can get in? Or you just say, I'm a comedian, get in, get to work, get going, and then say you're a graphic designer later? I was like, or do you say both the same night? Because I know me, I had an issue with people thinking that I'm funny and I don't know finances very well. Or, you know, I'm not very savvy, or, you know, I don't know my stuff.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, nobody knows I'm an accountant unless I tell you that. You would never know that at the comedy club.
Okay.
You wouldn't even guess that.
Okay. Here's where the switch came for me. I was working at the Comedy Store, you know, doing some show production with my man Drew Tillman, who put on Tripping on Tuesdays for years. Now, I approached him, yes, as a comic, but I offered my services. So that was only to him. No one else really knew me as a comedian because they just saw me running the show. They most certainly didn't know I was a graphic designer and doing flyers and stuff like that unless you were actually doing business with me. But it didn't switch for me until there was a photographer that was at the show that was trying to get a picture with all the comedians. Now the comedians knew I was a comedian, but this guy didn't. So I'm like, all right, comedians. He's like, Joe, this is just for the comedians. Everybody in the crowd was like, he is a comedian. What are you talking about? He didn't know that. Okay? He did not know that. So I have to make a choice to make it known who I am, what I can do, and not just depend on, the right circumstances to be, to become known at that particular time, so I can, let me offer my services.
Right.
No. So it depends on the situation, but normally if I'm walking into a performance situation as a comedian, then I'm a comedian. But if I hear things that say, there's a business opportunity, or if I can establish myself as a person that can provide services, then I do that to that person.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's,
now they know both.
Now they know both. Because some people struggle with that. They don't want to tell everybody what they truly do, because you might have a day job and you don't want anybody to think that, you're going to spend more time doing your second endeavor than the day job. So it's an interesting thing, because I know you left your job at one point and went full time to running your own business. Mm-hmm. What was that transition like? Was it a hard one? Because I know when I went through the transition, you were one of the people who told me, hey, save a lot of money so you can be free and do what you need to do, because that burden of not having money will drive you crazy. Yeah. You really can't live up to your fullest potential because you're always trying to worry about paying bills. So you need some money so your brain can breathe and you can go do what you want to do, be creative, get those relationships versus, I don't know if I have enough gas to get here. I don't know if I have any food. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make rent this month. And it will hinder you from doing what you want to do, in my opinion. Now, some people get in those situations and they go full out. Mm-hmm. And then they be calling home looking for some money.
Well, you know what? What you're talking about, if I'm hearing what you're saying, is the transition from that safety net of a
9 to 5
to 9 to 5 stable check
to I'm working on my own. I'm going to work on my own, and the transition between the two. Mm-hmm. Because some people, even if you do save a lot of money, that money's going down, down, down. And the business, just because your business is making money doesn't mean you're making money. I can't always draw on that. I can't draw a salary or a paycheck on my business initially.
Okay. Well, let's get real for a second. First of all, that's different for everybody. There's no one way fits all. Okay?
That's true.
Your choices are your choices, and the reward and or consequences are going to come with you. Just have to make the decision to stay the course. And I made a decision to stay the course. I would figure it out. When you say, hey, I'm leaving my job when you say to yourself, I want to leave my job and I want to do this instead of that. When you say that in your mind and you're really committed to it, your mind will recondition itself and you'll start making choices based on what you desire. Okay? So that's different for everybody. I was trapped in a cubicle space and I decided I'm making choices to exit this place. Part of that was saving up money, because I, like you, hey, how am I going to pay these bills?
Right.
How am I going to pay these bills? What am I going to do if I can't pay these bills? Well, I don't want to have to find out, but I want to know I'm able to pay my bills doing something. Okay. So if I'm not going to be a software engineer for this company over here, what can I do instead? Because being a stand-up comedian, making $50 here, $70 here, nothing here,
nothing here, nothing here, nothing here. Then $100, $200.
Yeah. So that's how am I going to do that? So I have a skill set. Can I use it some other kind of way? And back to what I was saying before, when we were doing these shows and I was doing the graphic design stuff, I was like, I need to be able to offer this as a service some kind of way. And that kind of factored in to the get your game up, get your skill set up, because now I know that it's possible. Now, if I can get $50 out of you for your little business card, I know I can get $50 from you for doing your business card, and you and all y'all, because all y'all that was back in them. Here, take my card days.
Take your card days.
Don't give me a card.
Now it's follow me.
I don't want your card. I almost don't want to follow you. I want you to follow me.
Don't follow me home. Don't follow me home. Don't follow me home.
But don't give me no card. If you just had somebody give you your card, and it's like, I don't even know. You take your phone out and take a picture of the card. Maybe it's like, no.
That's what I do now. I don't need your card, especially right now with COVID. I don't need it.
Yeah. Don't hand me nothing.
Speaking of COVID, how has COVID affected your business? Has it helped or hurt your business?
I've made millions since the Rona came out. Okay, no, I didn't.
I can tell you guys looking nice around here.
To be honest, we've had these conversations, but I have been blessed. I have been able to keep a lot of my clients, because what I like about creative people, we create ways to carry on despite whatever circumstances everybody else has got to do this. Well, this is what we're going to do because this is what we started out doing. We wanted to do this production. We got whatever brick wall we run into, we'll find a way. Comedians, they're doing shows outside. There's comedians doing shows on these Zoom chats. They were finding a way to be funny. They were finding a way to make money. Fine, I'll put my Cash App and I'll say, okay, shout out to Boogie B.
Shout out to Boogie.
Shout out to
Boogie goes live every day for 9 hours a day. Boogie be talking. Boogie will read the Bible. Boogie will read a cookbook. Anything Boogie gonna find. Boogie gonna teach you how to go. Boogie is a good friend of our comedian Boogie B. He goes live every day. Check him out on Instagram.
Now,
Boogie, I'm telling you, last week Boogie said, "Listen, you all want to learn how to fly a plane?" I was like, Boogie, I don't know about that, Boogie. I'll let somebody else teach me that.
Your mind will recondition and point your will to a solution to make something happen. And people like, I made a post a long time. Comedians are superheroes because we save the day. Because what I'm telling you right now, this a shout out for my man Boogie B. That's the homie. We don't see each other that often outside of online because of the Rona or whatever. But the last time I saw that brother, I mean, it was just because you know Boogie. Yeah. Boogie. Well, I was just at a low point, just like, man, what am I gonna do? I had that frustration. Boogie B was on live talking about sex for like 45 minutes, and people, his chat was just going up like this. He saw me and they gave me a shout out. I was with him. I was trying to keep up, and he just lifted my spirits. So I was like, comedians are superheroes. We need them. And the fact that we can't do shows, the fact that we can't figure out a way to get these comedy clubs open. Shout out to the Comedy Union. I hope it returns full force in whatever form that it takes.
Shout out to the Comedy Union.
Shout out to the Comedy Union. But the fact that the Rona has shut down these clubs out here, Texas, East Coast, they opening their comedy clubs. They're finding a way. Out here, the comedy clubs have not found a way to consistently stay open so we can do these shows, because we all need laughter right now.
We all do need laughter, and that's what this podcast came from, because this is my third go around, but I decided to finally do it by myself.
Yeah.
And like I said, I want to go 100% mobile. I want to go where the people at, so I'm traveling. I come to where you are, and it also allowed me to, because I'm funny. I'm funny on my YouTube page. Go to Cheap Not Broke YouTube page, subscribe, and learn how to save some money and whatnot. But I wanted somewhere where I can also kind of get the serious side of people and people who are, because I feel like, like the whole thing about this podcast is life and money, they go together.
Yeah.
They do, but it's not all about making money. It's like, well, what's the relationship to my life with this money? Mm-hmm. Like sometimes a comedian, we don't know when to ask to get paid. It's like, well, when do I get paid? Well, I'm going to tell you this, as soon as you fill up, they all come see you. That's when you should get paid.
Yep.
You got to get funny first, but, well, if you can fill up the room, obvious.
It's
they come to see you. It's a business. And, sometimes we don't learn the business. And when we do learn the business, we don't learn the actual cash flow of the business.
True.
You can take you can have a business and make $10, take that same 10, invest it and be broke and hope. Or take that 5 and just keep investing 5 until you get to a certain point. But you got to learn how to run a business. You got to learn comedy's a business.
It is.
Traveling, you have to learn how to get tickets that cost, efficient. You might get a show that's 2 hours outside the city.
Yeah.
How are you going to get there? You're going to rent a car? You just have to do the math. So we always have to start figuring things out and trying to, figure these things out for ourselves. Because like I said, during COVID, a lot of stuff cut off. Yep. It cut off a lot of people's money, but it created a new way for them to get some money.
Yeah. And what I like about comedians, especially if they're business minded, they find a way to like Nate Jackson. I like what he did, especially towards the beginning of the pandemic out here, how he was able to monetize his shows, and he would literally, get, whatever the social distancing rule, however many people, probably like 6, 8 people. I don't know. You don't see them. You just hear a small crowd in the back that's willing to come, somebody to run the camera, turn it on, whatever the software, plugins or whatever you put on your website, you can pay some money and you get to watch the show.
Right.
And he did it anyway. So cats like that find a way to be all right, and people can still consume you. You put your personal brand out there. I just like the idea of it. The Cash App, that's great for Cash App.
Hey, throw your Cash App at somebody, see your money. My Cash App is Black Kung Fu. What's your Cash App, Joe?
My Cash App is Brain Street Design Co.
Brain Street Design Co. I'll put that in the footnotes of the podcast.
Yep.
Well, before we wrap it up, I just want to know, where do you see your business heading in 2020, and how do you see the future of business helping yours? Because things are changing.
Yes.
Like me, I teach my webinars online now for my company, and I was paying for space. This podcast, I do this remote. I set everything up versus paying for a space. So this whole COVID has changed the way I've done things, and it's kind of helped me. How do you see it helping you?
Well, again, my creative mind is going towards being more efficient and offering more services. As a graphic designer, I've been able to do projects with, highly visible people, corporations, film festivals, but I've only been able to do a certain amount based on the skill set that I have. So during the quarantine, I'm training myself on new skill sets within graphic design skills. That way I can offer them to those same clients, or being able to offer them to new ones, because I use my time wisely and setting up my business to be more efficient. I've learned a lot. I've been exposed to more people, meeting people that, on these Zoom chats. Now they're exposed. I've never seen them before, but I'm there. They know what I do now. Reach out to these people and have more of a marketing plan to put my brand out there. As far as acting and doing stand-up, I'm always writing something. I'm ready to go back on these stages. And as far as the acting, definitely staying in class, staying training. That's my main thing. So ending out 2020, being ready, trained, ready to go. In 2021, doing new things, new training, and having a new skill set that I can command my own income, and I'm responsible for that. No one can determine that but me. So I want to be in demand and create a demand myself, and to be able to supply that demand. That's all economics is: supply and demand. Are you in demand? And if you are, can you supply it?
That's right. And don't get high off your own supply. You might die. That's what they tell me.
Hey, I'm still going to do my own flyers until I get too busy to do it. But hey.
Hey, and I'm going to do my own flyers so I can afford to pay Joe. Then I'm paying Joe, and I'm done with flyers. Next thing, next, I'm going to get me a cleaning lady to fold my clothes. Then I'm getting me a chef to cook 2 times a week. And that's it.
Hey.
Hire the help. 2021 for me, I'm trying to hire some help. I need some help.
Hey, you'll find it.
They'll find it. Where can they find you at, Mr. Joe Fox?
You can find me on Instagram, Joe Feezy, Joefie. Wait a minute, F, let me spell it again. Good grief. Edit this part out. You can find me on Instagram, Joe Feezy. You can search Joe Fox Comedy or Joe Feezy, and that's about it. Or you can call me. You can find my number. I'll pick up maybe.
What's the name if somebody wants to get some graphic design done? Where would they find you for that?
If you want to find me on the graphic design tip, you can go to brainstreetdesign.com. I have a website that needs to be updated, but I'm there and you can reach me. And by the way, stay away from Fiverr unless that's all you have is $5, because I do not go for $5.
No, you need to multiply it by five times.
Yeah.
Multiply 5 by 55, then you got Joe.
Yeah. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. You gonna put more than 5 on it with me.
I got
Because
5
I'm
on it.
affordable, but I cost more.
Well, yeah. So we subscribe at Cheap Not Broke, but you need to be just not broke. I don't know necessarily cheap to deal with Joe, but hey, that's what we're here. We're here to promote business, talk about life, relationship. You can find me at you can find me at Cheap Not Broke, this podcast on Cheap Not Broke channel on YouTube, and you can find us on Apple, Spotify, all the platforms. Until next time, I thank you, Joe, for coming through, dropping us a little knowledge on what it's like to be a graphic designer and a comedian and how much it costs. Until next time, tune in. This has been the Cheap Champ. We'll see you next time.